8, Aaron Araber. Number 12, Aiden McHenry. Number 15, Anne Marie Manella. Number 16, Molly Mulbach. Number 19, Megan Ostrander. Number 21, Natalie Wecker. And number 38, Taryn St. Louis. Their captains are number 24, Mary McHenry. Number 26, Riley Effer. Number 11, Casey Moore. And number 10, Emily Ruland. The coach is Amanda McGee in her 4th season. Their assistants are Brogan McHenry and Elizabeth Darrow. Your Blue Devils enter today's game with a record of 0 wins and 3 losses. Here are their starters. Number 7, Ashley Sherry. Number 8, Abby Simitowski. Number 9, Axie Vang. Number 10, Katie Waits. Number 11, Joy Messing. Number 13, Gabby Larkin. Number 15, Abby Barnwald. Number 17, Tegan Meyer. Number 24, Anna Gagnon. And their goalie is number 40, Dory Coggan. And your captains are number 16, Maddie Barnwald, and number 1, Kaylee Patterson. The Blue Devils earned the distinguished leadership of Marianne Meltzer in her 5th season. Her assistants are Ashley Collins and Shannon Novak. Her student manager is Noreen Ganesh Babu. Please rise for the playing of the national anthem.
Welcome into an early Saturday morning edition of LTU Women's Lacrosse. Jason Ross Jr. back with you alongside Dylan Morello. A fun one today. Benedictine College coming in ranked number 3 in the country. We have a top 10 matchup on hand. The Blue Devils come in ranked number 6, but still in search of their first win of the season, 0-3. The Ravens are 5-0 on the other side. A tall task at hand. Head coach Marianne Meltzer's team, they feel they still have time, but they need to come together. And right now is the time to do that. Looking to get their first win of the year, and we are underway from
Yeah, the Blue Devils, Jason, as you mentioned, they're 0-3, early start to this season, and it hasn't really been a good one, but a lot of stuff to improve on. This is a young team, as Marianne Meltzker says. They have a lot of new upcoming freshmen and also just not a lot of upperclassmen, but you look on the other side of the field, and also no seniors for the Ravens at all. We talked to their coach, and she said it's actually a plus, Jason, as it allows for a lot of their players to step up in big roles, and you see a goal there. That was shot by number 11, Casey Moore. She gets the Ravens on the board just under a minute in.
Yeah. A quick one for the Ravens, a quick start from Casey Moore, the Mill Creek native.
Yeah, Lawrence Tech, they said they needed to work on their attack, but just in the recent games, the first 3 games, I've seen them all, and I mean, their defense hasn't been that stellar either. I just think all around they need to really improve their game here and also get backstopped by their goaltender a little bit more.
Lawrence Tech jumped out to a quick 2-0 start last week against Georgetown College. That was an 11-7 loss. They've had some tight losses against really, really good teams. This is the 3rd top 10 team that they've seen through the first 6 games, so it doesn't get any easier either. The next time up, they'll have Kaiser College in Florida, also a top 10 ranked team.
Yeah, you definitely want to go into Florida, Jason, at least with 1 win under your belt, and it's going to be a tough challenge. As you said, this really is a top 10 matchup, but the Blue Devils, I mean, just in all respect, haven't really looked like a top 10 team. They're still trying to find their own identity, and I mean, you see the Ravens, they're 5-0. They've found something, and speaking to their coach, I just think they're really going out there and just having fun and playing their game.
Like you said, it was interesting when she told us that it was actually a positive to not have any seniors. She said that, the underclassmen have really taken over these large roles, and they have another opportunity here. They're applying the pressure. And Megan Rosman. Bouncer goes wide, and looks like that possession will stay with Benedictine.
Yeah, nice over-the-top play there as Waits was applying pressure also at Sherry nearby. And the Blue Devils, they look like they're going to come away with the ball here defensively. So that's what you want. I mean, on any possession, they want to keep the ball out of the hands of the Ravens. Marianne Meltzker said that possession is going to be key here as they have a strong offense. You see nice back check there.
Yeah.
So the Ravens get it again, but possession is going to be key, and they have a 2-on-0.
Excellent defensive play from Molly Muhlback, and then transitioning the other way is McHenry. She'll stop up, have a look, shoot, and a nice stick save made that time from Dory Corrigan in goal today, the Hamilton, Ohio native.
Yeah, Corrigan's going to have to be strong here. The Blue Devils still trying to figure it out on defense. You see it up top there, Larkin having a little bit of trouble communicating, and if Corrigan back there can make some saves, some timely saves, this team could rally around that and build off of it. As you see, once again, they're hemmed down in their own end of the field.
Head coach Amanda McGee in her 4th season for Benedictine. Coming off a national tournament appearance a season ago, it was a first-round loss to SCAD College, the same team that ended the Blue Devil season in the semifinal of the national tournament last year. That was the #1 ranked team at the time. Both of these teams have aspirations to get deep into the spring once again and make that national tournament and go far again, and not only get to the semis or the quarterfinals, but get to the finals and maybe win it. Right now, for the Blue Devils, the #1 task is getting that first win of the season.
Nice play there by Patterson as she gets out of the defensive end, and Sherry will have the ball now. First offensive possession for the Blue Devils in this match. Let's see what they could do with it.
Coach Marianne Meltzer told us before the game they need to be a bit more patient. Don't rush things quite as much, and hopefully you can hold the ball down here a bit longer and keep that possession for longer periods of time. Here's Anna Gagnon. She's been pretty special this season, leading the team in goals, a real presence in front of the net. She'll curl there. The slide came, and here's Sherry with a bouncer, and the Blue Devils has tied things up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, great play there, and that's on the first possession of the game, Jason. That's exactly what you want to see, a response defensively. You got 2 saves, and then they come down the field and they get a goal on their first shot of the game, it looked like. So the Blue Devils, I mean, it's tied right now, and they can't overthink it like you mentioned. They want to be patient down there in the offensive zone. And, I mean, right now it worked out in that play. And a nice assist there as Sherry pots that one in.
Yeah, she's been really good as well. 5th goal of the season for the Savage, Minnesota native. Sophomore, and she had 39 goals last year. Was one of 5 players with 50 points on the season last year.
Yeah, the Blue Devils have some talent. They really do. I just think right now it just has to mesh, and that's I mean, key for any team. You can be the strongest team in the league, but if you don't have chemistry, it's not really going to work on either ends of the field. And I think right now that patience that the Blue Devils are preaching and trying to get is going to come with confidence and chemistry.
Draw control goes to Benedictine. Now they'll try to set things up. Casey Moore. We've called her name already today. Over to Emily Rowland. Mary McHenry will feed a cutting Natalie Wetcher there, but a nice defensive play and a nice read there for the Blue Devils. Now they'll get the possession back.
Yeah, that's 3 for 4 on the defensive possessions there, as you see Waits coming out right now through the midfield.
She's coming off a breakout performance. Scored her first 3 career goals. She's going all the way down the field here and was able to carry it in.
Yeah, one of those players that really has to work the whole 100 yards here, Jason, playing defensively, midfield, and offense. A lot of multi-asset players here that the Blue Devils can use. As you see Sherry with the ball again.
Excellent roll dodge, and the shot went wide right. He's looking for his 2nd goal in the past couple of minutes. Tegan Layer, she's also been very good, working from the X position now. Here's Gabby Larkin. She'll curl around, looking for Patterson, but it went loose and right into the grasp there of St. Louis. And goal today for the Benedictine Ravens.
Yeah, St. Louis definitely just has to get her feet under her, as that first shot kind of surprised her here, but you see her get more comfortable going up the field, making that outlet pass. I think on that last play, Larkin kind of forced it a little bit into the middle as Patterson was cutting through, but I like the Blue Devils. I mean, they're getting more comfortable. They're trying those, plays that if they connect, they're going to be beauties.
They look like they know what they want to do right now. Like you said, maybe a little bit more patience.
Also in the previous games, though, too, Jason, sometimes it's a little bit too much patience. As you see, they work to the outside a lot, and sometimes they have that open lane, and then the confidence just isn't there, and they don't take it. As another great defensive play there.
Yep, a ground ball scooped up there by Katie Waits.
And that's going to be in possession for the Blue Devils again.
Another foul.
So 1-1, 24-16 remaining in the first half, and I think it's a good start for both teams. Not really that much of a feeling out process here, Jason. As
it was quick.
Yeah, both teams scored on their first shot of the game, each respectively, as that one's carried across the 30.
Wade's able to spin away there from Casey Moore.
And that's a third foul she's drawn here, just on that one possession.
Yeah. Here's Anna Gagnon. Not the last time we'll call her name this afternoon. Double comes. A nice slide there. Gagnon has to back it out. Gets it to Waits. Now Sherry. She has the goal today for the Blue Devils.
Good shot there as Sherry penetrated that defensive layer of the Ravens, but that's her second one wide. She's trying to pick the corners here. I just think right now the Blue Devils have to simplify it. As we mentioned before, they did get 7 goals last game, but offensive chances just have been tough to come by, as they've been kind of streaky. That last game, they got 4 goals in a span of 2 minutes, and that was pretty much the last goals they got for a long duration of that match.
Yeah, couldn't really get anything going in the second half.
Yep.
It went up 2-0 then, but they trailed 6-4 at the half, and from that point on, it was Georgetown's game.
I think also defensively, Jason, they have to limit the opponent's scoring chances, but also goals, as double digits they've given up. Double digits each out of their 3 outings so far this season. I think if they could limit that, they'll have more chance to win, as last game was the first game they didn't score above 10 goals.
Mm-hmm. They lost about 205 points of production last year between Ashley Collins, who's now coaching, and Isabel Vickery. So those are definitely 2 pieces that are tough to replace. Still, obviously, adjusting to that. In any sport, if you lose that kind of production, it's going to be tough at the beginning of the next season.
Yeah, it wasn't only their skill on the field, Jason, but also just their leadership off of it that I think they're missing as well. As you know, Ashley Collins, she is a grad assistant here, so I mean she's definitely still there, but even on the field, just talking, communicating, that type of stuff, or just a leader, to step up and say, hey, I'm going to take the team on my back this game and put some points up on the board.
Yeah, she's done a great job coaching-wise in the early stages of her coaching career, which I'm sure she'll definitely be excellent at, has already been excellent at. Had a chance to talk to her before the season.
Yeah, she really has embraced it. Definitely misses being out there, but she's done so much for this organization, and she just keeps on giving. And right now, it seems that she's just trying to instill that leadership qualities that she has in these up-and-coming players.
Yep. And one advantage for her is that she played with most of these players, so she can relate to them so much, as you said. Blue Devils going to keep the possession here. It's going to be looks like it'll be a man-up opportunity, as Mary McHenry will take a knee right in front of the scorer's table for 2 minutes.
Yeah, this is one of those opportunities, Jason, that you have to capitalize on. The Blue Devils just have trouble finishing, as Sherry again, and she scores.
2 for 2 for Ashley Sherry, and the Blue Devils take a 2-1 lead, quickly transitioning up there on the man-up opportunity.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. The coaching staff of LTU, they said they're preaching patience and getting into the offensive end and, just setting it up. But sometimes when you catch the opponent off guard there with your speed, which the Blue Devils have a ton of it, as you see there, a couple of plays early on in the game, they just come from the defensive end all the way up the field in quick succession. I think that transition game really feeds into what they have to do, and I think they have to use it a lot more than they really want to.
Second goal of the game for Sherry, and Waits now has 8 points on the season after she was assisting on that goal. It's a 2-1 Blue Devil lead, 21:48 to go in the opening half of play. Timeout Benedictine. We'll go to a quick breather. You're watching Blue Devil Women's Lacrosse on LTSN. Welcome back to LTSN. A sunny 35-degree day. The blankets are out here at Groves High School. Blue Devils have had, this is their 4th home game to start out the season, but they've actually played in 3 different locations due to the construction going on over at the LTU athletic field. Started the season out over at the Country Day Fieldhouse. Played a couple of games there, and had one at the athletic field, actually. And despite the construction going on, the crew shoveled the snow, and they were ready to go for that one. That was a cold, chilly day last week, Dylan. You were there. And today the sun is out, which is helping. It's the Blue Devils holding a 2-1 lead after Sherry scored. She's got both goals. Waits assisted on that last one. Jason Ross Jr. back with you alongside Dylan Morello. As Waits has ran out of bounds there, but fouled. There's Axie Vang. She spoke with our Blue Devil LTSN team last week, and she was one that kind of said, you know, we did a little too much standing around offensively. Blue Devils have had some nice motion on this end of the field in the early going as they draw another foul there, and here's Waits. Tegan Lyer. She had 2 goals and an assist versus Georgetown, along with 7 shots on goal. She'll find a cutting Axie Vang there, but couldn't quite get a hold of it.
Yeah, Abby Swintowski there trying to cut in, and just right off the head of the stick there, as the Blue Devils really pressing now, and they believe in themselves at this point, as you see the ground ball.
Yeah. Charging the other way goes Casey Moore. She scored the lone goal today. Now streaking to the net, but hacked from behind there was Molly Muehlbach. She had a 6-goal game versus Marion. One of the more formidable threats, and this will be our first free position shot of, I believe it's still the morning. Yeah, only 11:16. So Muehlbach, the bouncer, and that whips wide left.
Good play there by Coggin, as she really just didn't give much net as she closed the space there and made her force it wide. Blue Devils doing good on defense, and that's what you need.
Natalie Wetcher finds Muehlbach. Cutter to the net. Turning is Natalie Wetcher. 2-man play there, and the Blue Devils are going to get this back. A charged up Marianne Meltzer after that.
Sometimes that's all you need too, Jason, just to get the right calls, the lucky bounces, and that feeds your team's energy.
Here's Vang. Blue Devils with the possession, looking to take control again. It feels like they have momentum right now. Gagnon. Feed it over to Layer. Now Gagnon will work from the X position. In front there, sealed off, was Gabby Larkin. Layer cutting, Gagnon looking. The slide comes. She'll have to turn back the other way, and now we get a whistle. And the free position shot for the Blue Devils now. It'll be Gagnon. She was excellent in the first game of the season. Almost led the Blue Devils to a comeback victory. She'll score for the first time today, and the Blue Devils take a 3-1 lead. It's a 3-0 run for Lawrence Tech, and that's Gagnon's team leading 10th of the season.
Great play there by Gagnon, as Jason, I saw in that last game that they played against Georgetown that when they had those free position shots, they were just stepping back. They weren't even taking them. They're stepping back and elected to pass on those. And I just think when you have the type of caliber players that they do with the great shots that they have, you need to take a shot every time you get a chance like that. And great play there by Gagnon. And it puts the Blue Devils up 3-1, 18-49 remaining here in the first half. And they really just have to keep the momentum on their side, as we've seen how quickly, just in those first 3 games, how quickly momentum can change. LTU gets a lead, the other team fights right back, and it's tough to get back once you have it. So
yeah, there was some patience that kind of led to that free position shot. You saw some cutters in front, and they didn't try to force it, and Gagnon ended up drawing the free position shot. The all-WLAX first-teamer from a season ago. She was also a second-team All-American. returning the third most points from last year. Now here's Casey Moore. She'll cut to the net, and she'll score. Casey Moore, it's 3-2.
Yeah, it's a tough one. You don't want to give up a goal right after yours, but a quick answer there by the Ravens.
Nice isolation from Moore. Saw the mismatch that she liked, and we'll see if they go back to that the next time they get possession.
Yeah, Coggin has been playing a strong game so far in net for the Blue Devils. That one on the ground. Couldn't really get her stick down in time, her body in front of that one.
Nice job of going off stick side there.
Be Waite's first draw of the night.
Yep. So you can snag this. Oh, it's snatched out of the air that time, and Benedictine will have the possession back. It's Casey Moore right on cue. We'll see if she takes it. She'll opt to set up the offense. Go in there to McHenry.
Yeah, their offense runs from that right side there with Moore. As you see her, she goes down below the goal line. And the defenders aren't going to follow her back there, so that gives her time and space to read the play, read the offense, and make something happen. As you see, they go down there, working high to low, and Moore once again behind the net.
There's McHenry. Her sister, Aiden McHenry, is also on the team. It's a quick catch and shoot from Natalie Wetcher. That whips wide, and McHenry has it right back. She'll work in, turning and firing, but ready there was Coggin.
Yeah, great save there, and that's exactly what you need from your goaltender. As just in the first 3 games, they weren't getting those timely saves. And right there, when the score is 3-2, hanging in the balance, you need that. And now it's played up offensively, but we get a whistle.
Yep, so we'll go back to Lawrence Tech. Crossfield pass, that was dangerous, and it's picked off by Wet McHenry. Very high-risk pass there, and McHenry saw it all the way. Kind of looping in the air. She'll carry it all the way, and another stick save made there on the reaction from Coggin.
Great play there, as that one was a 2-on-1. What a save, and Coggin's really, like I said just moments before, keeping the Blue Devils in this game, and that's just one of those lazy turnovers. You have the chance to get across the 30, get those back checkers off your back, per se, and you just pass it cross field, and that one easily intercepted. Definitely the coaching staff of LTU doesn't want to see that.
Yep, definitely don't want to replicate that. Cutting there and shooting, but it went wide right. A nice job to get the stick up on the defensive side for the Blue Devils on that Natalie Wetcher shot. Freshman had 5 goals versus Marion, 8 shots on goal, so she's another player that you can really spot in front of the crease for Benedictine. 16:26 to go in this first half, almost halfway through in the opening half. It's a 3-2 Blue Devils lead. Benedictine struck first. LTU subsequently went on a 3-0 run. Now playing some defense here. Man-to-man look for Lawrence Tech, as they usually go with. Nice job of keeping them to the outside there, but a cutter, and there's some contact, and a whistle is blown. It was Jordan Messing, a two-sport athlete, meeting the ball, but a free position shot is what will come as a result from that. So a chance to tie here for Benedictine.
Looked like a false start maybe there, yeah.
Yep, that's going back to Lawrence Tech, so it won't be a chance to tie for Benedictine, and the tables have turned after Claire Ryan was set up, but the Kansas City, Missouri native couldn't do it.
That one's passed cross
another
again.
Turnover, wide open with a runway, and they tie things up at 3 apiece.
And that one, not a good play there by Patterson, as she's trying. The Blue Devils catch a break. They get a false start there on that free possession shot, And they have possession of the ball again, and that one just forced once again across the field, and you can't do that as this Ravens team, they're really quick on the balls of their feet, and they're going to pounce on those, let's say, just missed passes, if you will, and right there, that it ends up in the back of your net, and you don't want to see that anymore during this game. Definitely have to talk about that.
Yeah, it was back-to-back possessions with a lazy crossfield pass, and that time Natalie Wetcher took advantage. So we're tied now, a mini 2-0 run for Benedictine. Benedictine has won the majority of the draw controls. They're going to take it again here. Obviously so important in the game of lacrosse. Possession in general. Muleback. Work it around. Here's McHenry. So go back. Benedictine at 5-0 on the season, undefeated, 2-0 on the road. Looking to get to 3-0, finishing up a 4-game road trip. Here's a ground ball, scooped right back up. 3 apiece right now, 15:05 to go in the first half. Almost just about halfway through this opening half. Here's Muleback. He's already scored today. A little stutter step, a shot, and they score. Muleback makes it 4-3, and Benedictine on the run. That was a nifty move.
Yeah, those turnovers and bad defensive play there, they might come back to haunt this team, as we've seen in the first couple games. But the Blue Devils, we know they have the offensive skill to do it. They'd have to just get back on their horse. As I just mentioned, kind of predicted it there, Jason. The momentum could swing both ways just so quickly. And as you see now, the Ravens have it. As the Blue Devils, they went on that 3-0 run, and now the Ravens on it.
Yep, lacrosse is a game of runs, and we're seeing it right now. Benedictine, a college based out of Atchison, Kansas, about 2,000 students. They're on a 4-game trip where they've kind of gradually worked their way up north. Matchups with Indiana Tech, Marion, Lindenwood, and now here in the Mitten, going up against Lawrence Tech. This is the first ever meeting between these two schools. Benedictine plays in the Heart of America Conference, where they went 7-0 last year. Finished 13-2 overall. They are on their way to replicating that this year. And despite the fact that they have no seniors, they feel that they can make a deep, deep run.
Blue Devils are going to be down a man here.
Yep. Orange Tech has had one-man advantage, which they scored on earlier. It's Axie Vang taking a knee in front of the scorer's table. And now they'll be on their heels defensively, trying not to go down 2 goals. The Benedictine run is 3 in a row. Moving in, looking to make it 4 in a row. And doing just that. Yep, they're going to count that. And it's 5-3 Ravens.
Look like another goal for Moore, it seemed. She released that shot. And the Blue Devils are going to talk it over here as they get their man back, but...
Goal by number 10, Emily Ruland.
Excuse me, goal by number 10, Emily Ruland.
Yep.
But the Blue Devils have to fix something here as the momentum kind of swinging the Ravens' way, and they have to get possession the offensive end. As I've seen, pretty much we've been looking to our right all game here, Jason, or at least the second portion.
Man, Benedictine is really good with those draw controls. That's played what feels like a huge role over the past at least 10 minutes or so, with the momentum swaying in favor of Benedictine now on a 4-0 run.
Yeah, for sure, because they get those goals. I mean, they scored 4 in a row, as we just mentioned, and then they get the possession right back, so that's tough. I mean, you're playing defense pretty much every second nonstop here for the last 5 minutes plus.
Yeah, Coach Marianne Meltzer said it's tough as they get the turnover there she said it's tough that, sometimes we have to play defense as much as we do. So we want to give our defense a break, and they have an opportunity to do that here. But a ground ball, and it's vacuumed right back by the Ravens.
Yeah, Vane couldn't handle that hot heater.
And now runway to the net. A shot that went off the post. So the Blue Devils escaped there, but there's a foul as Sherry was trying to work her way up. Dylan, another turnover, and then, man, they just barely escaped, just a few inches away from going down 6-3.
Yeah, it's tough because the Blue Devils are exiting their defensive end really, really fast. So everybody's momentum is, pushing upfield, and then they get those turnovers, and everybody's flat-footed, and the Ravens, they just cut back. Now offensively, Smentowski is going to be on the right side of the goal, and another whistle, but it's tough when everybody's, thinking, oh, we have the possession, we're going to leave the zone, go offense. And then the ball just gets turned right back. I mean, it's going to come back in on you, and they already have 2 goals scored on turnovers here tonight. And right there, luckily for that foul call, but could have been another odd man break the other way.
So Smentowski opts to give it to Gagnon on the free position. Here's Sherry walking in, shooting and scoring. Ashley Sherry with a hat trick. She's got 3.
Great play there, and once again the patience paying off by the Blue Devils, but not only the patience of the pass, but as soon as they get the ball up in that area, I mean, the shots are quick release, and that's what you need. They pull within 1 here, 12:54 remaining in the first half.
That was wonderful poetry there on the passing. They knew what they wanted to do.
As you can see pretty much here, Jason, this game, when the Blue Devils have it down in the offensive end, I mean, they get quality scoring chances every time. It's just right now, in their own end, that's what they need to shore up in this game.
Mm-hmm. And right here on the draw control. Let's see who gets this one. Once again, Benedictine able to win it.
Yeah, Larkin just spinning around. She had no idea where that ball went.
Natalie Wetcher now fouled after taking that draw control. It's been a fun one, 5-4. A game of runs, a top 10 matchup. Blue Devils at number 6, the NAIA. Benedictine number 3. And the Ravens have a 1-goal lead right now.
I have bad news. So, it wasn't 10 that scored.
Back for Benedictine, the Kansas City native. And with 12:16 to go in this opening half, still a 5-4 Ravens lead. There's a shot and whipping one right past Corrigan. It was Natalie Wetcher. That was pretty nasty, and it's 6-4.
Yeah, and that play all started with Wetcher as she won that draw. And the Blue Devils, once again, they're getting stops early on in this match.
So just a quick correction on one of the previous goals for the Ravens. It was Muleback scoring earlier, not Ruland. Nonetheless, still 6-4 with 12:02 to go in this opening half. And once again, another important draw control coming up. Blue Devils, that was a really good answer when they went down 5-3 to make it 5-4. We'll see if they can get this here. Gabby Larkin going up against Wetcher again.
You really have to bear down on these draws. I think they've won 1 maybe out of all of them so far this game. As they get a false start there, and the possession will be right for the Ravens. And
that's in your mind now, definitely.
Yeah, you can't have that. As now they have the possession again, and that just gives them a quality chance. And I think they're
going to reset the shot clock there. But, man, Dylan, I mean, you have a false start like that, you can just tell it's in the minds of the players now.
Yeah.
They just can't win those. Now it's leading to false starts. So.
And that leads, I think that also falls on the bench, and you have to control your players, talk to them, and ease them down, as right now they're just a little bit shaken here. I mean, who wouldn't be? Not the start of the season that you predicted. You came in ranked 4th, you dropped down now to 6th. So, slowly slipping away here. You try to, you have to stop the tide one way or the other.
A stick check, but a foul. And this will be a free position coming up. Molly Mule back again. She's been a threat so far. Coggin in the cage for Lawrence Tech. 11:23 to go. Muehlbach moves in, and there's another goal. It's 7-4 and a quick 2-0 run to answer right back from Lawrence Tech's opportunity to cut within one.
Yeah, this is where you have to stem the tide. As the Blue Devils, you see coaching staff talking there with Larkin as she's been taking the draws. But, I mean, Jason, at some point, the draws aren't working. You got to switch out the arsenal up there and try out some new players, as right now I don't think anything is working here for the Blue Devils in these last few minutes. 7-4.
As you said, trying to stem the tide, so they'll talk things over after Muehlbach scores again. It's 7-4 Ravens, a mini 2-0 run, 11:22 to go. Still plenty of time left in the opening half. You're listening to Blue Devil Women's Lacrosse on LTSN. Welcome back to LTSN. Jason Ross Jr. back with Dylan Morello, producer Ali Hadi, Kayvon Higdon behind the camera this afternoon. An early 11 a.m. start here at Groves High School in Birmingham, Michigan. Blue Devils in search of their first win of the season. They're 0-3 on the year. Not the start they envisioned, but a chance to bounce back, down 3 goals, trying to, as Dylan said before the break, stem the tide out of this timeout.
Yeah, they put Sherry there on that draw, and the Blue Devils lost it, but then gained possession, then a turnover again in the midfield.
Turnovers have been pretty crucial in this one so far. When you have 2 top-tier opponents like this, you just can't give the ball away and give free chances. Here is Wetcher moving in again, and McHenry. A cutter and a stick save made in front. They get the rebound, though it spills out, and it whipped wide left. A couple opportunities there for Claire Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, a great cut in. She just came from the left side, beamed in, no one on her.
Yeah.
And Coggin made a great save, but then just no such sense of urgency there by the Blue Devils as they let them get the possession again. And I just think that it took the Ravens a couple minutes here to get the legs under them on this road game. Probably just came off the bus. And once they have, you really see, Jason, why they're 5-0.
The slide comes there. Ball came loose, but a whistle. As you said, she just kind of darted into the screen like a beam. A little over 10 minutes to go. We've seen Lawrence Tech go on end of first half's run this season. First game of the year, they were down and rattled off about 3 or 4 goals in the final, what felt like a couple of minutes. So they have the ability to spark on a moment's notice, but it starts on this end. Nice play there from Patterson.
Yeah, really nice play as once again the cut from the left side as the Ravens, they're moving the ball from the top, and they just find that lack of coverage. You see, once again, they go across the top and then send someone through the slot is another shot there. Good save by Coggin.
Yep, they got beat to the middle there on a bit of a miscommunication, but Coggin, as you said, right on cue.
Yeah, they work the top of the arc and then just send one player cutting through the middle, and that just causes some coverage confusion and defensive confusion for the Blue Devils. Lucky here, they get the possession, and Patterson now makes the smart play and just runs with it as can't really pass in your own end, and they get it now on the offensive side of the field.
There's a player right in front, and a goal that time coming from Tegan Layer, her first of the game, and it's 7-5.
And that's perfect. That's what I've been saying all season long. I mean, it's only a little short snippet of what the Blue Devils can do, just 3 games, but they really just beat teams on that transition, and I think they really have to, instead of setting up and waiting and making like these hard forced passing plays, as soon as they get the ball in the offensive end of the field, they have to take it to the net right away, and you saw Tegan Lair there all alone in the slot, and she pots it in. And the Blue Devils, I mean, their offense has to be cold there, just standing on that 30. They really haven't had much possession of the ball, but as soon as they get it, their legs are moving, and they're getting goals, as I think 5th goal on their 7th possession, so good percentage there.
Yeah, you're right. It feels like the success has come when Benedictine is more on their heels. And back as the Ravens looks like they'll scoop up another ground ball here and get another draw. And out comes loose though again. Abby Barnwald there. Can she make something out of this? And it'll go back to the Ravens. Nice effort there from Abby Barnwald, one of 2 Barnwalds on this team. Her sister Maddie is also a key player. Bit of a runway that time. Moving in was Casey Moore.
Good back check there by Abby Barnwald as she hit the ball off, but another whistle, and she's going to step off the field as probably in the sphere there called.
Yeah, that's Maddie.
Don't know why the call there.
Yeah, it might have been something around the head.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Looked like it was in the vicinity of the head area. Maybe it was a swinging motion towards the head area.
Yeah, the ball was in that vicinity, but no matter what, the refs are going to make their calls, and the Blue Devils, the big thing is this: they're down 1 man again, and they gave up a goal last time. See if they could change that here.
Both teams have converted on these man-up opportunities so far. That clips off the stick of Claire Ryan, and the ground ball scooped up by Jordan Messing. She then loses it, and Benedictine has it right back. Here's Mielback having a look. Now she'll operate behind the cage. Coggin turns and has a look toward her. Cutter's moving toward the net. There's one in front, picked off. They tried to force it. Excellent read that time from Katie Waits. Now she'll transition back the other way. She's been excellent at doing that this afternoon. Galloping through the field.
Yep, so now the Blue Devils back in the offensive end. Let's see what they could do with it. 8th possession here offensively.
Kaylee Patterson over to Anna Gagnon. Lair scored the last goal for the Blue Devils. Back to Gagnon, who's also scored today.
Right now they're really working from the outside. They have to change that here as they force them all the way into the midfield. Good defensive pressure. I think a little bit of adjustment there by the Ravens as Patterson comes in, and she gets that one swiped off, but foul.
Just fought her way
a yellow.
Contact, yeah.
So free possession shot looks to be here for Kaylee Patterson, and once again a prime opportunity here. Time running out, 7:38 in the first half, with the Blue Devils trying to shrink and cut this lead in half.
Nice job of not panicking there. Here's Patterson. She'll stop up. Second time they haven't taken the shot on the free position opportunity. They'll have to pass it back. And a really nice one earlier in the game where Gagnon was set up behind the net, and she fed it right out in front, and now Gagnon gets past the initial defense. She'll bounce it over to Lair, who scoops it up. Nice stick handling there. Katie Waits trying to roll away from traffic. The double comes. Pass to Pick. Gagnon covered out in front nicely by Rihanna England.
Time running out on the shot clock. They have to do something with it.
Just 1 second, and that'll do it. First time we've seen that today. Shot clock just expired on Lawrence Tech there.
Yeah, that's tough. Waits was double teamed there on the outside, and she just had to go all the way around, and that ate up a lot of time. But good defensive play there by the Ravens. Got to give them credit. They adjusted well.
There's Mary McHenry walking all the way in. That bounces wide left. A few years into the shot clock on the women's game. This is the first year for the men's game with a shot clock at the college level. It's 90 seconds in the women's game. You can't see it on your screen, but we'll keep you updated on that. It's at 70 seconds right now for Benedictine, so plenty of time to work with here for the Ravens. And 6:15 to go in this first half. Can the Blue Devils find a nice ending to this first half? Feels pretty big knowing this seems to be a low-scoring, relatively defensive affair, where momentum has weighed large. Here's a pass to a cutter that bounces wide. It rolls out in there to vacuum it up and carry the other way now. There's Gabby Larkin. Running with Gagnon. Has a look to her. Now she'll feed Gagnon. On the move. Odd man rush. Gagnon moving in. Sealed off nicely there. Held wide again. She'll wrap it around. Smentowski shoots right into the mesh of the stick of St. Louis, the junior, with a nice play there from Blue Springs, Missouri.
Yeah, right there once again, Jason, that fast, quick-paced offense that I love to see. It kind of reminds me of hockey there, just fast-moving and quick. As you see, Waits with another steal, and Larkin, once again, she was actually the one that had that last shot into the goalkeeper.
The freshman Waits continues to impress. Over these last couple of games, feels like she's building up steam. And now the Blue Devils can operate. A whole 70 seconds left on this shot clock.
Yeah, Waits and Smentowski, only freshmen down there in the offensive end. So a lot of leadership, and a lot of people would know what they're doing out there. As we see Waits.
Oh, she had it stripped. The ground ball scooped up, though. It's loose again. Taken by Gagnon. Big play there from Gagnon. Tries to roll away from the defense. Held wide. And now we're going to get a charge call. So go back to Benedictine. Up next for Lawrence Tech is Kaiser University, 5th-ranked team in NAIA. They go down to West Palm Beach, Florida for their spring break trip. They'll go to Florida, then head back up to the cold of Ohio. So they'll play Ave Maria University on the 16th of March, and back up to Ohio for Walsh University on the 19th. It's the upcoming schedule for Lawrence Tech. This is the third top 10 ranked opponent in the first 4 games. This is number 6 versus number 3. Here on LTSN. 3:55 to go in the opening half. A 7-5 Benedictine lead. And they have possession right now. Blue Devils hoping to get it back and perhaps have a nice ending to this first half. Aiden McHenry, it works its way over there to Casey Moore. They'll get the defense moving a bit.
Yeah, you just mentioned their schedule, Jason. I mean, it's a tough one, and I think M.A., the coach, she purposely scheduled these ones. As you've noticed on the schedule, none of them are WLAC games, so they don't really have any playoff implications per se, but it really, sets the bar for this team and kind of a measuring stick games, if you will. As a great save there by Coggin.
Yeah, nice dodge there from Moore, spinning to the side that she came from and shooting. And speaking of the WAC, you look around the early success of these teams, despite not much conference play yet. Concordia and Cleary have played the only conference game, and Concordia won that. They actually have the best overall record right now in the WAC at 4-1. Off to a nice start, 3-1 on the home field. Madonna at 1-0, Lourdes at 2-3. Indiana Tech ranked number 2 in the land. They've played just once against this Benedictine team, and Benedictine beat them. Benedictine has already beaten 3 top 10 teams.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that this is definitely not preseason, but I mean, definitely if it doesn't have, implications there on the standings, you could kind of take a seat back. Hopefully that's not what the players feel, as every game's important. As see Lair cutting in there, and she's fouled. Another yellow, but the Blue Devils definitely have to get one win up on this on their record here. So they go into Florida the spring break, at least with something to show.
Yeah, feels important today, definitely. Maybe carry some momentum over. Lair did a nice job to force her way through and draw the free position shot. We'll see what they opt to do with it here. They haven't taken the shot on the last two, but Lair will shoot, and she will score.
Yep, exactly what I said. The Blue Devils, they have to shoot those. It's like in a free open shot, and right now the defensive coverage of the Ravens is just so tight. You saw they got forced into the midfield. They lost the possession on the last two, and they just have to shoot it. If you get an open lane, I mean, definitely take it. I'm not a big fan of stepping out and passing and trying to force a play. And it works right there as they cut the lead to 8-6. 2:29 remaining here in the first half.
Blue Devils now trailing by 2 goals, 8-6 with 2:25 to go in the opening half. They do scoop up the ground ball off the draw control there. Now Abby Barnwald can operate. Finds Lair. Lair ducks under a stick and has a look. 7-6. There's a bit of a miscommunication with the score there. That's what I thought.
Yeah, the scoreboard said 8-6.
Yeah, it was 7-6, so it's cut down to 1. 7-6 is the
that one.
Raven lead, so just a 1-goal game.
Patterson, good play there to scoop up that loose ball as that was a missed pass. Sherry now working the outside.
Already has 3 goals. Ashley Sherry, Minnesota native. She'll spin away. Put it behind the net there for Lair. Gagnon out front. Blue Devils trying to tie it up. Smentowski. 38 seconds to work with on the shot clock.
Yeah, Blue Devils have to do something here quick. Don't want to run out of time for the second opportunity.
And going to draw the foul.
Big push there. So the Blue Devils stop that shot clock at 27 and see what they get. I think another
set up for the free position.
Shot. So let's see what they do here, Jason. Hopefully, I mean, they have 2 goals on the successes of just getting the shot off quick. So Sherry already has 3, looking to make it 4 here.
Feels like these kind of gift opportunities have been huge, whether it's a turnover or a free position. These have been big.
I think, too, in the last 3 games that they played, that on these free position shots, the goaltenders have just really been stopping them. And today they're really getting them through and getting those shots in.
This time she'll pass to Smentowski, who shot. That's right off, I believe, the hip there of St. Louis. And now the whistle and the possession back to the Benedictine Ravens. So nice job defensively from the Ravens on that one.
Yeah, good save there by St. Louis as she really needed one. The last 2 shots have gone in on her, and she gets the ball back there. But a nice little trick play. I didn't see that one coming. At least they did get the shot off. I mean, it was a quick pass. Smentowski, really, really quick. One of the fastest on this Blue Devils squad, and she gets into that prime shooting area.
They almost turned it over in front of the net. They have to scoop up the ground ball facing pressure. Blue Devils only scored 7 goals last week. They already have 6 today. Just 30 seconds to go in the first half. That's a looping, dangerous pass through the middle. It's a ground ball. It's bouncing, and Moore chases after it. Ryan is there, and Benedictine avoids danger, and they find a way to scoop it up, and now they have 15 seconds to work with. Could have possibly been big for the Blue Devils, knowing how fast they've been in transition today. Just 6 seconds. Looking for a cutter in front. The double comes. Nice slide. A long-distance shot. And Coggin is there to wrap up the half. 7-6 Benedictine after the opening half of play. A nice ending for the Blue Devils there to cut it to 1 after a 3-0 run for the Ravens. So once again, 7-6, the Ravens lead. This is a top 10 matchup, and it's felt like one through the 30 minutes. So we'll have the final 30 minutes coming up after the break. You're watching LTSN. This is Blue Devil Women's Lacrosse. Nice.
Good job. All right, well, 7-6.
Forgot to take off the headset. Back with you here on LTSN. Birmingham, Michigan, the site today for our top 10 matchup between the Blue Devils and the Ravens. What felt like an important goal to wrap up that first half for Lawrence Tech makes it 7-6, just a one-goal game between these two top-tier squads going head-to-head. What is somewhat of a neutral site, technically the Blue Devils' fourth home game of the season, and they get important draw control to kick off the second half. Here's Ashley Sherry. She had a hat trick in that first half. She was excellent. And she has been excellent and will probably need to be excellent for the rest of the season if this Blue Devil team wants to make a deep run into the postseason. Oh, and they turn it over there, and this might be an odd man rush headed the other way. It looks like it's going to be one-on-one with Aiden McHenry, one of the two McHenry sisters, with a runway, and she scores! Right off the bat, we're back up to a 2-goal lead for the Ravens off the turnover, and McHenry capitalizes. It's 8-6 Benedictine.
Yeah, not the way you want to start off that second half. I mean, at first I was going to say that's the way you want to with the win-draw, but
yeah.
Once again, the turnovers. And right there, it seemed like on the defensive side, I mean, both players were neck and neck, and I don't know if the Blue Devils just don't have the speed there or what, but, I mean, she let the Ravens to the inside, and that breakaway goal was pretty nice as the Blue Devils, I mean, they definitely have to adjust, I think, mainly defensively, as their offense has been clicking. Just a note on a change in the personnel. Gabby Larkin will be on the sidelines here, I think, to start this second half. And trying to see who comes in for her. I'm looking right now. Can't see on the field. But, yeah, so she's going to be on the sideline here.
There's Axie Vang working back there with Jordan Messing. A couple of very smart players, and now moving down that left side goes Katie Waite. She was really good in the first half. Now she'll move in as her look turns. Opening 30 seconds of the second half. One turnover has led to a quick goal. In the first half, Benedictine scored what felt like 10 seconds in, and now they got another one right off the bat. Here's Kaylee Patterson. She'll feed it over to Layer. She scored in that first half. Watch tightly to the X position here for Gagnon. Gagnon also scored. She'll have a look. Cutting to the net momentarily there was Smentowski, but she'll put it back out to Sherry. 39 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Sherry. Roll dodge, but ran right into the nice slide defensively for the Ravens.
And then that right there, number 18, Brooke Hepton. She's going to be the one to replace Larkin.
Sherry got past the defender, and then a foul was called. Blue Devils at 0-3 on the season, looking for their first win of the year. Down 2 goals, and here's a free position shot coming up for Ashley Sherry.
Yeah, Blue Devils definitely have to shoot this one, as last time Sherry had this free position shot, she tried that little cross-crease pass. And, Jason, there's been 3 turnovers that have led to goals that the Blue Devils should really be in the lead here if those didn't happen.
They have to pass it. Moving in front is Layer, and a save made there by St. Louis.
Yeah, I just feel like once you make that first pass off that free shot, just the defense could, set up as Waite steals that one.
Look at this. Here's Waite stick checked from behind. A brilliant defensive play, but do they get the whistle? Yep.
So another free position shot, it looks to be, maybe.
An eventful start to this second half. It's been a fun one so far. And now Waits will line up. Once again, they back it out. Contact from behind, but no whistle. Ground ball. Still loose. Bobbling around, and Benedictine vacuums it in. So kind of a mess made out of that free position shot. Here's another ground ball. Still loose. And this will go back to the Blue Devils. Will it? No. Referees convene.
Yeah, that was the second free position shot the Blue Devils had on that possession, and nothing coming from it. I mean, they definitely have to pot one of these in, as they're still down by 2. They haven't had the lead since the beginning of this game, definitely trying to get it back. But offensively, I think they're playing well. I mean, and like we said when we talked to MA in the beginning of this match, possession's going to be key.
Yep, and as I thought, it will go back to the Blue Devils. Fresh 90.
Good plays by Spentowski there to relieve the pressure as Lang now with it. Sherry's going to be coming down the right side.
Coach M.A. said there's still plenty of time left. We can't get down on ourselves. We just got to learn from our mistakes and keep getting better. It was after last week's matchup with Georgetown. That was a loss to 8th-ranked Georgetown. It was kind of the same message when we spoke to her before this one, as we're going to have another free position shot here and a chance to cut it back down to 1. Gagnon! They score. It's 8-7.
And look, right there, no pass, Jason, goal. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, if you have a shot, you got to take it. And right there, Gagnon once again, she finishes that one off and cutting the lead now to 1.
Her team leading 11th goal of the season. As I mentioned, all WLAC first team last year, second team All-American as well.
Yeah, she's one of the leaders on this team here, offensively, mostly. But I mean, you know, she can't just carry the load all herself. You know, you've seen Sherry chip in, Lair chipping in, but I think all together, I mean, everybody, even the freshmen, have to chip in offensively here, and that's why the Blue Devils struggling a little bit, not in this game, but just prior ones, to get stuff on the board and get offensive chances.
Barnwald was near that ground ball, couldn't pick it up. Benedictine with possession. There's a fire and a low stick save made there by Coggin as they tried to go bottom right off stick side there. Now a feed in front. Nice slide from Messing. The cutter, and that was broken up nicely. How can the Blue Devils scoop up this ground ball? This is big. Benedictine gets it back with still 73 seconds left on the possession clock. Jab step and a low angle shot. Whips wide right. But right there, nearest to it is Claire Ryan. Nearest player to the ball that goes out of bounds off a shot. That team gets possession back. So that is why hustle is just so important in this game. Keep possession, which is also obviously imperative.
Good job right now by Lawrence Tech not letting anyone cut in, but right there they do.
The speed of McHenry on display again, and it's right back up to 2, 9-7 Ravens.
Yeah, right when I said that she cuts in, but the Blue Devils, I mean, pretty much through that whole possession, after that shot that kind of was a broken play, they were keeping the Ravens to the outside. And McHenry, she cuts in and extends the lead back to 2. Not a big cushion.
McHenry had a 4-point game against Marian University, 3 goals and 1 assist. Having another nice outing here. Next up for Benedictine will be a matchup with Georgetown College. That'll be at home in Atchison, Kansas. Georgetown, the number 8 ranked team in the NAIA. Blue Devils collided with them last week at the LTU Athletic Field. So now Benedictine looking to work with some momentum. This is going to be a free position lining up for Molly Muehlbach. She's dangerous. Looked like a shooting space foul. Kind of that rule where you can't put your stick in the orb the virtual orb that's around the head of a player.
Great save there again, and the Blue Devils get possession here as Waits breaks through the midfield. And let's see what they could do here offensively.
Nice dodge. She'll gallop all the way in, not afraid to do so. And she was fouled.
Yellow again. Another free possession shot, this time right dead center. And this is when you definitely want to shoot.
She's a great stick handler. Nice job to switch hands there as the opponent came towards her. And that kind of earned her the free position shot as she created a runway. And as you said, Dylan, taking these feels big. Spoke to my friend Gabe, who played on the men's team for a number of years at Lawrence Tech, and he's kind of has the same philosophy as you. He says you need to take those, and he's pretty adamant about that. .25:38 to go in the second half, a 2-goal game. The referee comes over to the scorer's table here. Going to confirm something. Our excellent Lawrence Tech crew on hand, setting things up today. A home matchup here for Lawrence Tech on the field of Groves High School.
Yeah, Waits elects to step back there, doesn't take that shot. As
nice feed in front, Gagnon right there, right on cue, and it's 9-8.
Great play there as they don't shoot it there on that free possession shot. But Waits step back, pass it around the top for a little bit. She got it back, and then a nice pass right into the top of the crease area. And the Blue Devils cut it to within 1 as we saw number 24 for the Ravens. She got her second yellow. And I think she'll be done here for the remainder of this match.
It's McHenry.
So the Blue Devils should take advantage of that as McHenry has been good offensively here.
Gagnon scoring that goal. She's such a presence at the top of that crease. That's where she scores a lot of her goals. And she will score a lot of goals.
Yeah, that's definitely her bread and butter. As if you look at her goal chart, a lot of the dots right there at the top of the crease. And this draw goes the Ravens' way.
They've had the advantage in that area throughout the afternoon. McHenry. We're to Natalie Wetcher, the freshman. We'll put it out in front, but right into the mesh of the stick of Coggin. Now they turn it right back over. A one-way for Wetcher. She'll shoot and she'll score off the turnover. A second goal off a turnover in this half for Benedictine, and they go right back up two. It's 10-8.
Yeah, those are going to kill you, Jason. As, I mean, the Blue Devils, they have possession of the ball. I mean, it's just easy. I mean, right now, if their passes aren't working, you just have to run up the field. I mean, you have to take the time and space you have and just get that ball out of your end. As, like you said, that's the second of this half. That's the fourth turnover goal in this game. I mean, if you take away the turnovers, Jason, the score is
at least 2
8-6.
goals off this board.
At least. So I mean, it changes the whole scenery of the game. And right now, I mean, the Blue Devils, I think their turnovers, I mean, just defensively, that's where it is too. It's not even offensive turnovers. It's happening right in front of their own goalie.
Gosh, and you don't want to lose a game like this and have to look back on the film and say, man, what if we just didn't have that miscommunication there? It did look like a bit of a miscommunication from Coggin to the intended receiver. Now Benedictine with another chance. A shot off the right knee of Coggin, and that Vaxi Vang there to clean things up. A ground ball, though. Benedictine with the advantage. They'll get there first, but hacked out of the stick by Kaylee Patterson. A brilliant defensive play to get the stick check, and now the Blue Devils have possession back. And now Patterson loses it trying to navigate through traffic. She wanted a call, didn't get one. Back come the Ravens, moving in here. 3-on-3 the other way. It's loose again, a bit of a sloppy sequence. Ravens able to scoop it up. And over-aggressive defense will draw the foul.
Sorry, they're just, yeah, hot potato right now as the ball is just bouncing off of mesh, sticks, the ground, anything. And the Ravens, unfortunately here, but they're going to come away with the possession. As also just a lineup change once again. Larkin back in.
You can feel the passion for this game right now, how hotly contested it is, how much people want those ground balls, and that's kind of the reason why they're bouncing around like that. Just so much effort going towards it. Sticks clashing. Gotta love it.
Yeah, I just think it's that compete level, too, that Lawrence Tech, they were lacking the last couple games. I mean, you see they jump out to leads and they just let it slip away. Is right there, waits. Exactly what I just said. I mean, if the passing's not working in the defensive end, just run it.
Katie Waite scored her first 3 goals of her career last time out against Georgetown College. A breakout performance for the freshman. So we get another whistle here.
Yeah, and that's how she has to play all the time, as I think, like I mentioned there, we have the 2 leaders there offensively for the Blue Devils, but we need these newcomers to step up as well. You know, they're known for offense. You know, watching them at practice, Jason, you seeing them, I mean, they're so comfortable out there, and then they get into the game and they just can't find themselves. And you know it's there. You know the skill level is there. I think that's going to come with time, as this is only the 4th collegiate game for some of these young players. But once it does, this Lawrence Tech offense is definitely going to shine and break through. As you've seen, even in this game, when they have the chances, they're going to put them in.
This is Larkin on the free position. They'll opt to go back again and set things up. Here's Ashley Sherry. She's been magnificent. Sherry through traffic. Turned away. Smentowski. Over to Lyer. Scored in that first half. A little half turn in the shot. And a save made there by St. Louis.
Yeah, good save there as that one looked to hit off the hand and then into the bread basket.
Yeah, tried to go off stick side there. St. Louis having a good game.
Yeah, she really has, Jason. I mean, she's let up 8 goals, but other than in that beginning stretch, she really has found her game. On the other side of the field, though, I mean, Dory Coggin has made some great saves as well. I mean, the Blue Devils giving up double digits here again, but I mean, it's just the turnovers, as we mentioned. I think that's their only downfall. They're keeping the Ravens to the outside, and they're clogging up the midfield. As you see right there, a great play.
Dangerous pass up the middle. Blue Devils saw it, but the ground ball scooped right back up by the Ravens. Benedictine only gave up 7 goals to Marion in their last game. Benedictine College Ravens that have come up from Kansas on the 4th of a 4-game road trip. A lot of Kansas natives, a lot of Missouri natives. This will go back to the Blue Devils. Their bench trying to charge things up, only down 2.
That pass out of the netting again, and then charge there is going to be for the Ravens' possession. Blue Devils had an easy exit there as all alone. Could have been a nice play to get in the offensive end, but nothing coming there. And once again, another turnover, this time, though, in the midfield, so it doesn't come back to bite you right away, as that one played around the crease and now behind the net.
Good defense in front there. Nice roll dodge. That one almost went in but deflected wide, and the ground ball picked up by Barnwald. She then lost it. Gets it back, and there's the whistle.
Good play there. That one was off the post. It went in behind Coggin.
She's trapped up with 3 black jerseys around her and lost it.
And another turnover here, Jason. Let's see if the Blue Devils could escape here unscathed, but
Nope.
another whistle. And we have a double there. It's going to be a free position shot again.
This will be McHenry. Aiden McHenry, one of 2 McHenrys on the Benedictine team. She started to go low there off stick side, and it's picked up by Coggin.
Good save there. You need that from your goalie, as definitely don't want to go down 3. And Coggin, really, she can't come out that far and make those long passes, so I think that kind of deals something as another turnover here in the midfield. Waits has to bail everybody out, still loose on the ground. Hot potato once again.
Barnwald came away with it, now finally gets it to Waits. And then she was stick checked, but there's the whistle. Both of these coaches beginning their 4th seasons at the helm. Amanda McGee on the Benedictine side. She told us before this one that her team really just has fun, and they kind of turn off their brains and just play with instincts. And as I said earlier, as Dylan said, they actually think it's a positive without having any seniors, because these guys take roles and they're obviously learning on the fly. But despite the fact that they're relatively young, as looks like Barnwell's going to draw a foul there, they've still played very well, and they've played a very mature game. They played at each other's strengths. They preach positivity, and they always glorify each other. And we're going to go to a break with Benedictine up by 2. It's 10-8 with 19:05 to go in regulation. Blue Devils trying to mount a comeback. Turnovers have been a problem so far, but they're only trailing by 2. I'll be back in about a minute here on LTSN. You're watching Blue Devil Women's Lacrosse, and you're home for Blue Devil Athletics.
I sound good from Jason.
Welcome back to LTSN. 10-8, the Ravens lead. Kaylee Patterson working in here. Jason Ross Jr. back with Dylan Morello. Producer Ali Hadi. Kayvon Higdon and Jenna Skalski also with us today. Here's a ground ball.
Blue Devils right now also losing those ground ball battles, as the last 5 minutes really have been just a lot of loose balls. And as you mentioned, I love when you say vacuuming the balls up, as the Ravens right now definitely, the ball seems to be clinging to their sticks, as the possession really has been to our left once again. Blue Devils, I mean, you got to give it to their defense. I mean, they're having turnovers, but I mean, they've been working a lot this game.
Both coaches up and passionate. pump with a fist from Marianne Meltzer trying to charge her team on. Only down 2. They've gone on runs. Benedictine has gone on runs as well. Splitting the defense and drawing the foul. That time was Aiden McHenry. Oh, it's going to go back the other way on the charge.
It's tough too, Jason, when you're playing defense and you see Waits back there, also Sherry. You know, they're called upon to go all the way the length of the field as well. So if you're back in your own end playing a lot of defense, that takes away your energy and opportunity on the offensive side.
Final game for the Blue Devils before their spring break trip down in Florida and Ohio. Axie Vang scoops that up. Classes are out for spring break now on the campus of Lawrence Tech University. About 10 minutes away from Groves here. The crew still hard at work, our LTSN team, and the great crew from the LTU Athletics Department. For one more before all of our teams are away next week. There's a turn and a fire and a goal that makes it 10-9.
Yeah, goal there by Larkin as she's had some pep in her step. Kind of fired up there as the first little bit of this second half. She was on the bench as Coach M.A. not pleased with her play there in the beginning, but now she gets on the board, and that's going to help this team as they pull to within 1. Now, Jason, this draw is key. I mean, whoever gets possession on this either has the chance to give some retribution here for the Ravens or the Blue Devils to have another possession. But, I mean, once they're in the offensive zone, I really don't see any flaws, as I think this last week at practice, even talking to Coach M.A. on the sideline, you know, they really worked on their attack, I think, more than anything. And in this game, it's their defense that has lulled.
Larkin, a player with great vision, picking up her 4th goal of the season there. And Dillon, they get the possession, but then the ground ball. They were closest to it on the side. That's going to go back to the Ravens. It's a tough one. Well, now you have to get back. Benedictine 5-0, coming off a 13-2 year where they went 7-0 in conference play. They come from the heart of the America Conference down in Kansas.
Blue Devils right now doing a great job of keeping them to the outside. They're going to have to keep on doing that, as right there the crease roll and the shot.
Ooh, did they get a whistle before that shot?
I think there was a whistle, and it's going to be LTU ball, as I think that's really why the crease roll happened there, as you know, the Blue Devils heard the whistle, but good play there.
We could be in for a really fun final 15 minutes, almost halfway through this second half. Can't give those away. Nice heady tap ahead there to Vang. 10-9 Ravens. Blue Devils have had some close ones this year. They're 0-3, but they played some really good opponents. This is the 3rd top 10 ranked opponent of the season so far. Here's Tegan Lair. 50 points a season ago, one of 5 players on the Blue Devils team a season ago that made it to the national semifinal that had at least 50 points. Bouncer that gets past Patterson, but Sherry right there on cue. Oh, that's Mentowski, rather.
Mentowski trying to find a lane there. She gets it.
Beat her top side. A whistle before that shot, I think. Free position coming up.
Now the Blue Devils, they have to take this one. It's Mentowski. She's known for her speed and quickness. She just has to get that confidence to shoot as she plays that one down low, though.
Gagnon. Looking in front, couldn't find Lair. Was sealed off nicely. Patterson then cuts to the front of the net. They'll look for a third option now. They go to a lot of players at the top of that crease and didn't find it there. But here's Sherry walking in, shooting! And a save made there by St. Louis to keep it a 1-goal game.
Good play there as you see Larkin She really held her defender. She drew everyone. You saw, Jason, the whole right side, left side for where we're looking on your screen, was filled with players, and she drew everyone towards her, kept the ball, and you saw Sherry just break down the middle as that one almost another turnover there, this time by the Ravens offensively.
Nice stick check, but they get it back. Roll dodge. A shot and a goal. 11-9 now. So they get it back up to 2 after the Blue Devil free possession shot.
Yeah, and that's why you need good goalkeeping, as the Ravens, they get that stop there on that free possession. Although the Blue Devils, once again, they elect to that pass. They got the shot eventually through, but rather take that shot, as we've been mentioning all game. The 3 times the Blue Devils have taken that shot, it has went in. But that one saved by the goalie, and you see that quick transition this time by the Ravens. The ball goes the other way, and it ends up behind Coggin.
So Emily Rulin, the pride of St. Michael, Minnesota, her first goal of the game. And the 5'7" junior has made it 11-9 in favor of Benedictine with 14:19 to go in the second half. Back here on LTSN, 14:19 to go in the second half. It's 11-9 Ravens after Rulin's goal.
Yeah, the Blue Devils, they cut it to within 1. That's their 3rd time doing so. And then the Ravens just jump right back, get back that 2-goal lead as Blue Devils try to get that draw. And once again, the Ravens, they must just work on that all the time at practice. And it's been showing in this game as the Blue Devils, going to their practices and watching them on the field, they work on the draws slightly, but it's more in-zone stuff, passing, stick handling. As you mentioned before, a lot of these Blue Devil players are very talented, moving from the right to the left, guarding, positioning. And that's what you need, and it's key to the offensive success. Is now
got her in front. It was Wetcher. Whipped wide right.
Good play there as defensively in the middle, Vang. She forced that shot to be taken a little bit wide.
Claire Ryan, promising freshman with the feed. A bouncer. That goes wide. Nice job with the stick defensively from Lauren Steck. 37 seconds on the shot clock for Benedictine. Muehlbach. Over to McHenry. McHenry will move to the top. Watched by Barnwald. Now Jordan Messing on the defense. Arounds that 8-meter arc. We'll back it up to the 12-meter. Nice defense again from Messing. Just 6 seconds on the shot clock. 4. Just 2. They get a shot off and they score with 1 second left on the shot clock. Natalie Wetcher. That is a heartbreaker. A dart to the heart of the Blue Devils with just 12:42 to go in this second half. There was 1 second left on that shot clock, Dylan.
Yeah, that's a tough play. The Blue Devils just playing great, solid defensively, down low, working up top. You saw the little exchange up top there with Sherry and Vang, and just unfortunately that shot came off. As I think with 1 second left, I mean, the Blue Devils have to really be focusing on that clock. I would have pressed a little bit more, a little bit too much time and space, a big gap, and they didn't close it there. And that one just from the left side shot across the grain.
An absolute laser from a player who has potential to be one of the best players in the country throughout her career. She had a 5-goal game last week, and just an absolute laser beam right there with 1 second left on the shot clock. And now this 3-goal lead feels a bit larger than a normal 3-goal lead, knowing how this game has flowed. Blue Devils need to get on a run.
Yeah, 3 goals could be one of the dangerous leads in any sport. See if the Blue Devils can get it, but I mean, it starts with possessions. They lose that, draw once again.
McHenry. There have been some really heartbreaking moments for the Blue Devils in this one. There's a nice stick check, though, that gets the ball loose. Blue Devils force the turnover.
Yeah, Jason, I just feel like all throughout this whole beginning half of this season, it pretty much has just been those heartbreakers. The Blue Devils come so close. That was a great upfield pass. As I mentioned before, Coggin doesn't really do those too much, but just through the whole season, the Blue Devils get so close, mere inches, and then there's just a couple plays in a couple minutes of the game that just draws the opponent's lead a little bit out of reach, and the Blue Devils so far haven't been able to regain that lead after taking it 3-1 in the early moments, have been trailing the rest of this match.
Yeah, but as we said earlier, it feels like you could take 2 goals off their lead considering the turnovers if you didn't have those turnovers. Now behind the net here for Tegan Layer. Cutting in front of the net was Smentowski on the second cutter. Backing out is Sherry. Well defended. Sherry from the X position in front for Gagnon, but once again the defense is there. Scoops up the ground ball with 11 minutes to go. 12-9 the lead. Gagnon working, shooting, deflected.
See who gets possession of that ball as the refs convene. 22 seconds was left on that shot clock. The Blue Devils, I think, just trying to force something on goal, anything. I mean, there's 3 white jerseys around that arc there, but looks to be a Blue Devil woman coming off.
This possession's going back to Benedictine. Blue Devil men's lacrosse team in attendance today. Their next matchup will be against Montreal College in West Palm Beach, Florida, as they begin their spring break trip. All these teams putting in so much sacrifice, obviously giving up their spring breaks to continue working. And these 2 teams will be working pretty hard over the final 10:30.
Yeah, it'll be nice for them to get away from the books and just focus on the team and focus on team chemistry as well. As you know, when they go down to Florida, that's just another opportunity to bond and grow together. And this Blue Devil squad, for the women's lacrosse team at least.
There's a goal from Casey Moore on the cut in front, and the lead is up to 4.
As you see there, another goal, but yeah, like I was just saying, The Blue Devil squad has a lot to work on, a lot to grow with, and right now it's just a little bit tough. They haven't found their own identity, and I mean, I've just seen in most games they just let the game slip away as it gets later stages.
Yeah, as I said, they lost 205 points of production from last year's team. Trying to find a way to make up for that. 13-9 is the Benedictine lead with 10:25 to go in this second half. Head coach Marianne Meltzer in her 4th season will talk to the crew, try to get something going. A very animated timeout right now, as you see it in the conversation. We'll go to a quick breather. We'll be back in about a minute here on LTSN. You're watching Blue Devil Women's Lacrosse on your home for Lawrence Tech Athletics. Back in action on a 35-degree day here in Birmingham, Michigan. 13-19, the Benedictine lead. 10:25 to go in the second half. Blue Devils trying to spark a run every possession. This matters so much over this final stretch here. And here's that first draw control going to Abby Barnwald for the Blue Devils. Barnwald stick checked, but a foul. Give it right back, then get it to Kaylee Patterson. Sophomore. Her role has certainly expanded this year. Such a quick player. Here's another quick player in Sherry. Minnesota native. Roll dodge. Back up. She'll feed Smentowski in front.
Good play there by Sherry as she rolled off that check and played it once again as Smentowski and Sherry really connecting this game. They showed a little bit of chemistry there.
It was a very animated timeout during the break. Very energetic. Plenty of emotion. Can the Blue Devils find 4 goals over the final 9:36? Or will it be another tight, hotly contested loss to a top-ranked team? Patterson lining up on the free position shot, trying to chip away at this lead. Cradles it. Whistle is blown. Goes to Gagnon. In front. Layer. No whistle. Ground ball. Ravens have it back. Here's Casey Moore. Scored the last goal for Benedictine. Nice crisp passing here. Now a runway for Molly Muehlbach. Walking in, a low angle shot. And there's another dagger to the heart by Aiden McHenry, the Overland Park, Kansas native, just a freshman. It's 14-9.
Tough play there as the transition game for the Ravens works out as they only had the possession for, about 10 seconds there, and then Coggin was taking it out of her own net. But the Blue Devils, once again, they just have that little mental lapse, mental hurdle that they need to get over here.
So it's a 4-0 run now for Benedictine. A 4-0 run at the right time.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I feel like the Ravens have just kind of grown and became more confident throughout this whole game here, Jason. You see they start off a little bit shaky. Blue Devils came out with the lead, and now their legs are just fully moving, and the pressure really has amped up here, especially in the late stages of this second half with only 8:42 remaining.
Casey Moore. Now Natalie Wetcher can set things up at the controls. McHenry scored the last goal. They can burn down this clock if they want to. Claire Ryan's been really good today, also just a freshman. There's a cutter in front. It was Wetcher again. And we get a whistle. Maybe the
ref's convening. Don't know what that whistle was for. Looks to be a free possession shot nonetheless.
So lining up here is Natalie Wetcher. Rogers Ford, Pennsylvania. We've called her name a lot today. And looking for another goal here. On the left wing side of the 8-meter arc, a bounce shot.
Good save there, as I think Dory Coggin got a little piece of that ball. And the Blue Devils now have possession. They're going to have to work quickly if they want to try to cut down this lead and tie it up here before the end of regulation.
Sense of urgency. Felt like they played their best lacrosse in the first half when there was a sense of urgency and they were getting the Ravens off their heels. And that time, the Ravens have had some excellent defense. Honestly, stopping the Blue Devils from those clearance, excellent rides. And I mean, they have done a great job of forcing pressure. And the Blue Devils have not been comfortable trying to clear today, aside from really Katie Waits. Again, a foul, but more pressure. Especially on this side of the field.
Yeah, definitely defensively, as you see there, Barnwald trying to get it up. But
almost lost it again. Yep. And they did.
They lose possession. And right there, Jason, I just think anytime you have the ball, you have to move it north. I mean, and you know, your own net's behind you, always move it north. Never move it back down.
West,
yeah, exactly. As you see another turnover there, as Abby, she had the lane. She had Waits on her left side as well. Nice outlet. Still, the ball would have been moving north. It would have been a straight-up pass, and she just cut back and did a drop pass, and it just didn't work. And the Ravens, once again, with the possession, and I just think all night that's what's been happening, and they're going to have to work on something here because they're going to go down to Florida, and if they keep making these mistakes, it's not going to end well.
So whistle on the contact from Barnwald and line it up. Muleback. Molly Muleback walks in, shoots, and scores!
It's going to extend the lead now 15-9 with 6:09 remaining.
Yeah, you're looking at a goal per minute now.
Yeah.
If they come back in this one.
It's going to be tough. I mean, you want to do, focus your brain on just little things, win the small battles, win the ground balls, and, I mean, right now they have to get a possession per minute. I mean, that's what I would say in my mind as a goal per minute. Maybe a little bit of stretch here for this team. Just at this moment, they have the talent, and right now it's just about putting all the ingredients to make a good recipe. And right now it's just a recipe for disaster at this moment for the Blue Devils.
A recipe for success on the Benedictine side, according to their coaching staff, has simply been playing together. And they really spread the wealth. That's what they told us before the game. There wasn't really one player. They just kind of spread the wealth. I asked their head coach before the game, what do you think? How would you describe your offense? I asked Amanda McGee that question, and she told me, after she kind of hesitated for a second, then she told me one word. She said threatening. And she said, we don't really have one player that does it all. We just kind of spread the wealth around. That was pretty interesting before the game. A couple of interesting comments. She told us, they don't have any seniors, although they still are very successful despite that. And then that, they don't really have one go-to. It's just spreading the wealth, and sometimes that's better than having one go-to.
Yeah, as you see, Jason, even in the offensive zone, is another goal there. But they'll extend the lead to 16-9. But I think at least every player on the offensive side of the field, they touch the ball at least once before the ball even gets shot. So, like you said, spreading the wealth and, just spreading out the field, I think, is one of the keys to their offense. And it's for sure threatening as, if you put up double digits any game, your offense is definitely sparked as the Blue Devils still struggling to try to get to that point here. Stuck at 9 goals for the past 5 minutes plus.
Yeah, it's beginning to slip away now. The lead is 16-9. It's a 6-0 run for the Ravens on the road. Looking to go 4-0 on this road trip. Looking to improve to 6-0 on the season. They have national championship aspirations, and they're playing like it right about now. 5:11 to go, second half. It's a 16-9 Benedictine lead. Welcome back to LTSN. 5:11 to go in this second half. 16-9, the Ravens lead. It's slipping away from Lawrence Tech right now. But Dylan, you think maybe you go on this road trip, you go down to Florida, you go to Ohio. That could possibly be team building, positive in terms of team chemistry, as most teams will tell you.
Yeah, I think anytime you go out of town, and you're just with the girls, whether it be on the field or off the field, especially when you don't have the distraction of school, as you know, they are on spring break right now. It's going to help. Anything could help this team. There's nothing really else you could do, that's not going to help it. They're struggling right now, and I think to get out of any funk, you need a good save there by Coggin. As to get out of any funk, you just need to build around each other. It starts, right at the top with the coaches, and then extends down to the leadership. And you see, LTU has 2 great captains, and they're going to find a way to do it. They're a great team individually. They just need to be an amazing team together.
Yeah, they'll be together on the road from March 12th to March 19th. And maybe that'll spark some team bonding, spark some chemistry, and hopefully spark a run into WLAC play that will begin on March 23rd against Siena Heights. Blue Devils won the WLAC tournament last season, went on to make it to the national semifinal. There's a goal. Looks like Kaylee Patterson, sophomore.
LTU goal by number 1, Kaylee Patterson.
Yeah, good play there, sorry, Jason, by Patterson. She was on that left side of the net and rips it down low, as the low shots have been working here on St. Louis. High one, she's really pretty much just gotten her stick in the way of. But the Blue Devils, they get that double digit that I was hoping for. Their offense has been clicking. We mentioned Jason, the turnovers could have eliminated at least 4 of the goals by now. The turnover count definitely has to be high, at least in the 10 range. But the Blue Devils, they're down by 6. 4:22 remaining here. This draw is a big one.
You know, those low off-stick side shots tend to be the most successful. A lot of coaches will tell their players go bottom right, depending on the handedness of the goalie.
Yeah, everybody has a different place that they like to shoot. A lot of the Blue Devils, they know where to put it, especially their offensive weapons. Today they get put up 10, but when you keep giving up more than 11 goals a game, it's going to be tough for any team, I think, respectively.
Ground ball scooped up by Patterson.
Another free position shot here. Trying to extend the lead, try to match the goals they got last game are the Ravens. They scored 18 in that one. 16 so far tonight. And this one comes in good defensive play there by Barnwall and Waits as they converge together. Ball's going to be kept to the outside here. Lawrence Tech.
Some of the best defense we've seen all day right there.
Good play there as Patterson passed it back to Coggin. And Blue Devils move downfield now. Patterson comes back. She's the goal scorer, but also a 100-yard player. Working all the way down the field. She just lobs that one into the midfield, and Sherry bobbles that one, and she caresses it and moves on in, and she gets plowed down and looks to be all right, but should be Blue Devil possession still. 2:58 remaining in this one, 16-10. Sherry's still down.
Definitely Blue Devils hold their breath when she goes down. Appears to be something that she's just trying to shake off.
Probably got the wind knocked out of her. She's holding her side.
Yeah, those sticks can do that, yeah.
Nice little cross check there.
Yep. Usually tell when that happens. Smentowski to Gagnon. Inside of 3 minutes left. Barring a pretty magical finish, the Blue Devils would drop to 0-4 on the season. Benedictine would improve to 6-0 and 3-0 on the road.
Shot there, wouldn't go.
Gagnon trying to add to her total, couldn't quite do it.
And see, that's what I was saying earlier, Jason. You can't do it all yourself. As right there, I mean, I just didn't see anyone open, anyone calling for it, no support. She had to do it all herself, and the goalie knows that. The goalie could see if there's no passing options, I just have to focus on you. And she did it well there and made the save.
Can also credit St. Louis definitely for her performance in the cage today for the Ravens. Here's a lead pass and a odd man rush. Walking in, shooting. That one wide right. In there was Natalie Weaver-Wetcher with Claire Ryan. They will still get the possession back here and go to work trying to add to this lead. Hugging the left post that time was Coggin.
Yeah, Vang just got beat there as the cut from the outside to inside.
There's a turnover on a, just kind of trying to go with those high-risk, high-reward passes now, but we do get a whistle prior to that pass, so it's going back to Coggin.
In a strong suit there, passing up the field. She usually stays on that 5-yard line.
90 seconds to go. The defense in this half of the field has been really good, not allowing the clearance for Lawrence Tech. And once again, Claire Ryan ahead of the pack, walking in. Nice job to get back there. She'll look for the oncoming cutter right in front. Budova's recovered pretty well there. Barnwell trying to scoop up the ground ball. There's a whistle on the contact. Barnwell up to Patterson. Out of the reach there in search of Brooke Heptic.
And a goal by Lawrence Tech as Gagnon again pots that one in. As you mentioned, Heptic mishandled that, but it was kind of an advantage there for the Blue Devils. As the ball trickled past every defender for the Ravens. As they check her stick, it's good. So 16-11, down by 5, 56 seconds left in this one here, Jason. It's going to be a tough game all around, I think, but most importantly, just defensively, I think that's where they have to shore up the most.
And perhaps a positive there to wrap things up. They have played till the end, and that's obviously a positive sign. It slipped away about midway through this second half. It was 10-9 after the first half. A 6-0 run followed for Benedictine, and that goal finally snapped that 6-0 run.
Good move
nice
there.
Move. Yep. Excellent footwork from Casey Moore. Five freshmen, 5 sophomores, and 8 juniors. No seniors on this Benedictine college team that is undefeated on the road. Head coach Amanda Maggie. Enjoyed chatting with her before the game. And there's a lot of promise for this squad. This was the first ever meeting between Lawrence Tech and Benedictine. Here's a free position, maybe trying to add to the total. As Dylan said, they had 18 goals in their last victory against Marion. That goes wide, stays with the Ravens.
Good stick there by Messing. But that's going to do it here.
So Lawrence Tech drops to 0-4 on the season. Not the start they had envisioned, but a spring break trip coming up where maybe they could muscle up some chemistry, muscle up some team bonding, and perhaps get on the board as they'll face Kaiser University. It doesn't get any easier. Kaiser University is the number 5 ranked team in the country. There's no doubt that playing this tough competition will help them down the road, but trying to shore up certain things, trying to tidy things up after losing the production of Ashley and Isabel last season. Moving forward, we'll see what happens. Once again, Kaiser University coming up on March 12th as they head down to Florida. Benedictine on the other side improves to 6-0 on the season. Not sure how many people expected that, knowing how young they are, but they have some real potential down the stretch. Final score today was 16-11 in favor of Benedictine. That'll do it for us on